Today we will talk about United Nations and is this body which is called as UN serving its goal, because it was made after after that World War II and what happened in the concentration camps with Jews. So many lives were lost and world was wishing that never again these stuff should never be there. This type of humanitarian crisis should never come back on this earth. This type of war and loss of lives should never be repeated. So this body called United Nations was made, and the president of the time of United States, FDR, he was one of the pioneers, and he was a person he was a visionary person, and but unfortunately he died early, and I'm sorry to say that the person who became the president of United States after him, that is Truman, he was not having the vision which FDR was sharing. I think that even if FDR was the president, there would have been no bombing of atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And not only I will blame American president of the time. The world was divided into two camps: the USSR camp, the Soviet camp, and the American camp. And even in Russian camp, there was Stalin. Stalin was no less than Hitler. He had, in fact, he might have killed, there is no record that he might have killed more people than Adolf Hitler did. For him, the killing of people were not people, it were just numbers. So on one side, American president was not a visionary president like his predecessor, and even Stalin was not a good person. I'm always opposed communists. I'm not a fan of communists, but still I think even if Lenin was there instead of Stalin, world would have been better as compared to what Stalin did with the world. But coming to this, right now we are listening a lot of voices against the WHO, the way WHO has treated the coronavirus crisis, the way WHO has cushioned China, the way WHO is singing the tune of Beijing. So definitely America is not wrong in blaming WHO, its leadership, its general secretary. But why these all noises we are hearing now? Why not previously? Because right now the Western bloc, the most developed bloc, the dominant bloc, is suffering because of this crisis and also because of the failure of WHO. But this body, forget WHO for a while, I am talking on a broad spectrum. Broad spectrum, you talk about UN and its other offshoots also. Are they working for the task for which they were made? The answer will be no. Let me just take you a few years back. Let us go in 2010. There is a small country called Haiti in Caribbean, and there was a devastating earthquake, and which was followed by cholera outbreak. And cholera outbreak, 800,000 people of that country were affected by cholera. And why is cholera caused? Because of lack of basic sanitation. There was lack in basic sanitation, due to which 7% of the population of the country was affected by cholera, and 10,000 died. And when investigation began, the report came in 2006. The investigation, it was done by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. And what it said who was responsible for the cholera outbreak? It was the UN's peacekeeping troops. There was a base camp of UN peacekeeping troops. Those troops were from Nepal, but forget it. Forget their nationality. They were under the flag of, under the banner of, in the service of United Nations peacekeeping group. And from that base camp, the fecal matter was discharged in the river just north of the Haitian capital, and it led to cholera. And finally, because there were proofs, United Nations had to accept it. And then what they said, okay, as a compensation, you can say, or as a good gesture for what all happened because of the UN peacekeepers, they said that we will be raising $400 million, and that money will be spent on basic sanitation works of that poor country. But after 3 years, do you know how much they have raised and they have spent there? About 3 million USD. So they promised $400 million, and what they gave to that poor country, $3 million. But have you heard anything about that? No. In the Western press, there was no sound for all these things, for the humanitarian crisis which was caused due to UN and its failure, the failure of its commitment, because probably black lives matter less, poor people matter less. And right now, since United States and the entire Europe, they are in a very miserable condition because of coronavirus. Now they have started blaming. Now they are looking that, oh my God, this body of UN, the WHO, is not performing its task. It has been taken as a captive by Chinese state. But come on, what you have been doing since so far? You have made a Security Council which needs structural reform. There are only 5 permanent members in that entire body. What about India, which is 1/5 of population of the world? There is no permanent representation. Forget even veto power. There is no permanent representation for India. What about the continent of Africa with 1.4 billion population? There is no representation, permanent representation in General UN Security Council for 1.4 billion people. You may say that if you are talking about continent, Australia is a continent in itself and there is no permanent representation. Forget it, because Australia belongs to the Anglo-American camp, so they toe the same line. But what about America? What about Africa? What about India? These 5 countries doesn't represent the entire world. And you look at the circumstances which have been caused because of this veto power and permanent and non-permanent status of members. Some time back, Russia annexed Crimea. But this body failed because there was Russia which will take definitely a veto. Right now, this body of United Nations is not in a condition even to discuss the Wuhan crisis. Forget to do a thorough inquiry in, let it be Wuhan Institute of Virology or let it be the wet markets of China, because we are sure that once the voice is being raised for all these things, what will happen? China will take a veto. So this concept of veto is undemocratic, and those countries who always do the rhetoric of democracy, why they are not using the same democracy, why they are not talking about the same democratic values when it comes to the Security Council, why there is a veto power? There is no veto in any democracy. So if you are real guardian of democracy, then democracy, every country should have one vote. All countries must be the permanent members. So whatever comes in voting should be the final decision. So they are not able to check anything. Even when it comes to sanctions, you look America, what they do apart from UN, they put their own sanctions. UN can't stop that. Now even China is threatening of sanctions. You look at the kind of language which they have used. Their ambassador in Australia, they have used, they have threatened, they have literally threatened Australia that if you will ask about doing an investigation, sending an investigation team for Wuhan, our people are so, you can say, patriotic that they will not consume Chinese goods. It was a threat, and it may lead up till Chinese sanctions on Australia, and we all know that 1/3 of its economy is dependent upon China. So, can UN help there? UN can't help there. You may think that, okay, let's take out China from this UN body. You can't do even that. You can't even take out China out of the permanent status of UN Security Council, because in the UN Charter there is nothing like that where you can remove a member. And if you want to change the charter, all the 5 permanent veto powers must agree upon it. Will the China agree upon it? It won't agree. So the block-wise distribution of the world. And come to Europe also. Come to Europe. In Europe, 2 countries are having veto power and permanent membership. That is Great Britain and France. What about other countries? What about the entire What about Germany, which is today the economic powerhouse of Europe, which is driving the whole of the European Union financially? They don't have a veto power. They are not having a permanent status. What about Israel? Israel is also not having. It is the only strong democracy in Middle East entire region. Does it have power there? No. It has to depend upon the Western Bloc, American Bloc for support in the UN Security Council. So this entire framework of UN, I say it's a rotten framework, and it looks that Cold War II might start. Looking at the type of war of words which is being going on between Mike Pence or Mike Pompeo and the state of China. So if a second Cold War starts, and God forbid it translates into a war or a world war, then is this body having power to stop that? Because this body was made for the same reason, that there should be no concentration camps, but world knows that in China there are concentration camps going on. But can this body stop? It is unable to stop. If there is a World War III supposedly after 10 years or 20 years or 5 years or 50 years, is this body worth stopping it? It can't stop it. It doesn't have the powers. So the mission of this body has failed, and I'm sure that if structural changes are not brought in the United Nations, it will meet the same goal, it will meet the same future as like its predecessor, the League of Nations. It will have the same fate. That body collapsed. They formed a new body, United Nations, but this will also collapse if structural changes are not done. So I will request you all to raise the concern, raise your voice. We want change in the United Nations. Also, please share this video. It is for humanitarian cause. We don't want a world where there are concentration camps. We don't want a world in which one bloc will dictate other blocks. We don't want a world where there are only 5 countries have got veto power and they can dictate the world, or they can change the attitude of the world, or they can change the political and strategic condition of the world. We want equality for all. So it is democratic that this body, all of its offshoots, and first and foremost, the Security Council must undergo basic structural reforms.